everyone. Here we are again, season 2, and I am back. Thank you, Anna, for running the show without me last week.
Barely survived.
We were down in Kentucky actually trying out some new bourbons so that we can introduce them on our next bourbon cocktail that we have on the show.
Yeah, we should do like a bourbon month since you probably brought a lot of different.
And it was actually really cool, but I'll be honest, I was really surprised. It was a very hipster town. I thought Kentucky would be a little less hipster.
There you go. You never know what you get there, right?
I know, but it was good bourbon, good barbecue. So how
can you complain about that?
Exactly. So today we are doing the Thirsty Forager. We gave away the prize last time, so we have a new prize.
Congratulations, Blair. You know, big winner of our March month. April is rolling, and I said it's going to be a surprise, a big prize this month. So we'll introduce it to you at the end of the show. But first, let's do the drink. It's a gin drink. It's like we already pre-made mine. It looks deliciously refreshing.
It's called the Thirsty Forager, and it actually was made by a bunch of housewives down in the southern United States.
Really?
Yeah, it's a version of kind of a Moscow Mule or a mint julep.
Why is it kind of Thirsty Forager?
I don't know. Well, maybe they were foraging. All right. Here we are. We're going to start with putting our ice cubes into a glass because we're going to muddle. We're going to muddle things. So,
and like you have to put 2 ice cubes, sugar cubes.
So you're actually supposed to do a teaspoon of sugar. I just used 2 sugar cubes because I have them for when I make old fashions. So I just decided to use sugar cubes instead of a teaspoon of sugar.
And then about an ounce of
lemon juice, freshly squeezed.
Ooh, yay. Extra freshness.
And then we're going to stick a couple of mint leaves into the glass. And a lot of times people, when they muddle, they really don't muddle hard enough. You really want to get that mint flavor out so that it's into your glass. So make sure you get everything nice and mixed down there.
I think that's exactly what it is. Like people just like wanted to rush it through. It's like, okay, let's make a drink. But the more you get into it, the juices and like the oils of mint, it makes it more flavorful and it smells delicious here already.
It does. I always love the smell when I'm muddling like spices or herbs. It smells so good. Yeah. All right. So we've muddled. Now we're going to put 2 ounces of gin into a shaker with ice.
We are using one of our favorites, the local gins from Eau Claire Distillery, which you can find now in many co-op and farmers market locations. And they do have their own distillery out of, come on, help me.
I don't know.
It'll come. Oh, Turner Valley. There you go.
There you go.
Turner Valley. I knew it's somewhere. Something Valley. But anyway, amazing gin. So now Robin is gonna. Oh, so you add everything in.
So I dumped everything in. Now, one thing to know is if you're not in the Calgary market, let's say you're in Edmonton or you're somewhere else, again, Liquor Connect works for you. It's all through Alberta. You can go on Liquor Connect and you can find this gin anywhere.
Yeah, and it's probably use any gin, really.
Probably, yeah. I actually considered using Empress gin to give it a nice color, but I decided not to.
Oh, that would have been completely different experience for that gin. Okay.
So it says to do it until it's frothy. And then this one's an actually interesting one because you dump the whole shaker into the glass. So you're not leaving stuff behind. You're dumping in all the mint. You're dumping in all the ice cubes into your rocks glass.
You can use that.
And then what you do
back in.
is you are supposed to top it up with club soda. But I think I'm going to have to drink mine down because I had so many ice cubes in it.
Oh. Do you want to fish some of them out?
I'm going to fish some out.
Technical problem on the live show. Too many ice cubes.
All right. So I pulled out some of the ice cubes. Now you top it up with club soda, which is all in the recipe. And I like to stir mine because I always like mine being stirred. And then garnish it off with some fabulous mint leaves. Yeah. Give it a nice look.
I don't the forest.
She doesn't like her forest. But if you were to serve this to a friend, it looks loving, it looks refreshing, it looks just like a mint julep. Cheers. But you can use a straw to drink it if you don't like your forest.
Despite how snowy it is, this is a very cheery patio drink.
It does kind of taste like a mint julep or like a mojito. It does taste like a mojito with gin.
But this gin is really smooth. Gin, it's not one of those piney ones.
No.
So it doesn't have a lot of that particular gin flavor, I would say. So, and say like white rum also is pretty bland.
Yeah.
For the flavoring. So it's kind of definitely reminds me of that. Nice, crisp, not too sweet at all. So if you're not a sweet kind of drinker, and minty.
Yeah, it is very refreshing. Not sweet. It's a nice drink.
Almost makes me to forget that there's a snowstorm outside.
She's very traumatized by the snowstorm.
I had to drive here in a whiteout. Can you believe it? Like you couldn't see anything in the front. It was it's April. I thought we're done with it.
We always get one more snowstorm and
is
then
heat. Is this the last one?
Well, I'm not making any guarantees.
Crossing my fingers and toes.
All right. So now we're going to talk about how long it takes to find a house. Because people always ask us this question, and they're saying, like, how long is this going to take? Like, how long do I get to look for?
Especially if it's like they found a house right away, like the first house they walked in, they like loved it. It's like, oh my God, there's something wrong with us. Or if they keep looking and looking, and it's like, oh my God, there's something wrong with us. How long does it take to find a house? We already looked at 20. So, yes, we do get a lot of those questions.
Now, what's interesting about this, though, is it's changed a lot over the years. It used to have people taking a look at 30 to 40 houses before we got so much technology for pictures, videos, floor plans, and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people can do a lot of shopping online, which actually limits the amount of foot time that you have out in the marketplace. So you may only look at 1 or 8 houses and purchase one, but you've been online looking at houses for months, and it is honestly just as valuable as going and looking at them in person. Like, you're looking at them in person is just to solidify that you truly, truly love that home.
And especially like when we do meet with a new buyer, we talk about the criteria, right? What is it you're looking for in a house? We make a giant list of things like musts, wants, desires. And then as a realtor, so we put that criteria into MLS system. And we get, let's say, sometimes over 100, sometimes over 200 properties they may fit that criteria. Not in this market, but that have been when you get, and then you kind of can go over and you narrow that down to point of 20 properties that you send to the client. And client narrows down that 20 to maybe 10. And that's the 10 you go see.
But before that actually, she just jumped through all our notes.
The first thing
is you want to find your real estate agent. And honestly, you should pick us, but interview another one to see how good we are as agents.
Yes, not all the agents are equal, not the same. We don't work the same. We don't work the same schedules.
Absolutely.
We are 2 full-time real estate agents with a lot of experience working in Calgary and surrounding area.
Yeah. So
surrounding area, we meant like Okotoks, Cochrane, Chestermere, Strathmore. Did I miss anything? Airdrie. Yeah, like we've done quite a much bigger, but like surrounding area, this is kind of immediate, I would say.
But definitely interview agents. Yes. Don't just take the first agent you meet at an open house or the first one your friend tells you. You really should interview agents. Ask them questions. See how your personality fits with their personality. Make sure that
if you like them, it's a much better relationship.
Exactly. And make sure that their expectations and your expectations of the relationship and how it's going to work jive. Because we have had people that we've spoken to, and after chatting with them for a while, we've said, you know what, I don't think I'm the agent for you. And vice versa. Although, honestly, we're so fabulous, so I don't think you'll say that. But I'm just saying.
Yes. So if you're watching the show, you're definitely on the same page with us.
Yes. Yeah. Now the next one is to go and get pre-approved with your financial institution.
Yes, that's especially in this market. This is an absolute number one. I would not even like take anybody to look at any houses if you have no idea how much it needs to be approved for. If all your papers have been submitted to the bank or mortgage broker for the review, at least that was the initial one.
Yeah.
It's such a big step in this competitive market. It's must. Yeah.
And honestly, when you go to the bank and you chit chat with the bank, they may, after you give them all the documents, take 3 to 10 days to give you your final answer. But a lot of times right now, because the market in all capacities is so tight and so risk adverse, that a lot of the banks will ask for more documents because just because it makes sense to you, it may not make sense to the bank. So the bank may say to you, I want more documents here, I want more documents here. So don't be surprised by that. It's super annoying. You feel like they're nitpicking and you're like, why more documents? But it's
I
what
was
happens.
gonna say it's an annoying process, but then I was like, oh, maybe I should have described this process as annoying.
You know what? It's not having someone look at your financials and wonder if they're going to give you money is not a fun process. It's very intimidating.
Yes.
Right? Because you're terrified.
Very personal, right? Too. Like it's
it is.
Yeah.
It's very well. Honestly, I find it funny, but do you not? Every time I swipe my bank card, even though I know there's money in the bank, I sit there. Exactly. It's like you won the lottery every time it says it got approved. And can you imagine doing that on a much bigger scale?
Absolutely.
Like, oh my gosh. So then you sit down and you write down your needs, your wants, and your wishes. So things that you must have, things that you could compromise on, and things that would be nice to have. Like a hot tub, I would think a hot tub would be a nice to have.
Absolutely, yes. A hot tub, anything is, like recreational, right? Like the movie theaters and things like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But so basically what we just kind of listed so far is a preparation for looking for the house, really. So being well prepared is the key to finding the right house probably in a less of time.
Yes. And honestly, I think the most efficient use of time is everybody wants to get out and look at houses right away. Mm-hmm. But I find that my clients' time are more efficient if we sit down at a computer 4 day in the office and let them see the backside of the MLS. Let them see what we see. Because we can narrow it down in such better detail than what you guys can do with Realtor.ca. And we can show you what we see. We can see the history of the property. We can geolocate it. We can hybrid the map.
We also have the Realtor Notes that's only available for real estate members, because that's where we kind of sharing a little bit more of industry information. So you do want to work with a realtor because we can dig deeper into those. And a lot of the Realtor.ca still showing pending, which is conditionally sold listings.
Which we see and you don't on Realtor.ca.
Yeah, so that's the difference. So conditionally sold on Realtor.ca shows as active, where we can see it's conditionally sold.
And just because it's pending doesn't mean you can't look at it. We still have the ability to call the seller of the home.
And there's such a thing as a backup offer.
Absolutely. And we can ask the seller, can they look at the home? And are you willing to consider backup offers, which sometimes are to your benefit? Now, after you sit down with your agent and you have this computer day where you guys look at houses online and you pick them together and the agent gets a better idea, or us, because let's be honest, you worked with us, gets a better idea of what you're looking for. Then you book the appointment to go out and look at the houses that you've picked. Mm-hmm. Now, an agent can actually book 8 to 10 houses and show them to you in 2 to 3 hours, which you think is crazy, but it's not, because honestly, it takes 10 to 20 minutes per showing, depending on the size of the house, depending on how much you like it. Like for
how much you have to drive between.
Yeah.
Like, if it's all kind of in a similar area, definitely 5 minutes drive between the properties.
Yeah.
And it's about 15 minutes. 10, if you don't really like it, less than 5.
Exactly. Like when I looked at houses with my husband, because I was so adept at looking at houses, I would walk in and within seconds I was like, nope.
Yeah. And I always say to my clients, if you don't like it, we don't have to go and look at every corner of the home. If it doesn't fit the bill, let's just go.
Yeah. No, as long as no one's there. If someone's there, I always politely look around for a little bit.
Who's there?
Like if there's a renter there or the homeowner happens to be home, and they usually are not home, like 99% of the time they're not home.
Yeah.
But if it's once in a while they are home, I always say let's politely look through just to not hurt their feelings and then get going.
Oh, you're so nice. I'm just going to go now.
Now, condition days can be anywhere from 3 to 12 days, depending on the conditions, depending on the length. But generally, 12 would be the max in this marketplace. Even in a bad market, 12 days is a long time for conditions.
Yeah, 10 business days, not counting the weekends in between. So.
So I know a lot of times people think that they can have 30 days, all that kind of stuff. That is not how Calgary works.
Unless you buy an agricultural property, like, when you have to do water testing, well testing, and things like that. It's a little different. Commercial purchases, they may take quite a longer periods of time, especially reviewing the financial documents. But for technically like residential, condo, and single detached home, yes, 10 to the 12 days. Yeah.
Seems reasonable. Yeah. Now, Possessions can be a very negotiated item. It's actually the second most negotiated item in a contract.
Besides the price.
Besides the price.
One,
yeah, and possession is the second. Now, possession generally can average 30 to 45 days after removal of condition date. But you can negotiate it to be whatever you want. We just had a deal close just now, and possession day is August. And that's okay too. Possession day can be in a year if that's what you want to do. All of that is okay. There's no right or wrong answer to possession day. The only thing I can tell you is unless you're paying cash, we need at least 10 days for the lawyers after conditions are removed to get this stuff together. Otherwise, we get nasty phone calls from lawyers who get mad at us because they can't get it closed fast enough.
To be honest, like I had a client whose lawyer just kind of said, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're closing this month. I cannot take you as a client because they're so swamped." So with the market like we're having right now, when everybody is like super busy, you have to be either going with a lawyer that is available or make sure that you plan for those longer possession days. And right now we're seeing a lot of those 90 days.
Yeah. And if you're taking possession in July is the most possession month out of the year. So if you're going to try and do a short possession in the month of July, the lawyers are going to say no most likely because July is the most possession month out of the year. So it's a very, very busy time for the lawyers. They're trying to put through a ton of contracts. And if you throw them a short-term one, a lot of times in July, they'll just say no, thank you.
Hence, plan your movers in advance as well.
Yeah, for July, absolutely. Yeah. Now, Canada doesn't have escrow. We hear about escrow all the time because a lot of other countries have escrow. And what escrow is that you take all of your money and you stick it into a trust account and you hold all of your money in the trust account from the time you remove conditions until possession day. That doesn't happen in Canada. We actually only have you put down the deposit on the home, and then the rest of the purchase price is not due until possession day or 3 to 10 days before, and you give it to your lawyer.
Yeah, usually when you go sign your sale or purchase documents with the lawyer, that's when you bring your payment for the legal fees and all the money that you own for your down payment.
Exactly. And in Canada, most of the time, you will see the realtor fees for your agent, the buyer's agent, come out of the sale price of the home.
Yes.
On residential. Commercial can be different.
It can be negotiated.
It can be negotiated, but on residential, it generally comes out of the sale of the home. If it doesn't, your agent should have talked to you about that when they sat you down and explained to you your choices on the buyer brokerage agreements, which are a legal contract that we are obligated to sign with you.
So basically, how long does it take to buy a home?
From start to finish?
It could be as fast as 15 days if you pay it all in cash and you're buying it as is, for example, and moving in because maybe you're doing renovations or development for the property. Or it can take up to 3 to 6 months in kind of average loan possessions, I would say.
Exactly.
So, but how many homes do you need to look at? As many as you need to find the right one.
And there's no right or wrong answer. So I laugh sometimes because in real estate, I feel like we sound like lawyers when we say it depends. Because there is no right or wrong answer.
I had people who found a home and they loved it from the first one they walked in. We want to see another 2, I think, just because we had 2, we already scheduled.
Yeah.
Like, we don't want to see anymore. Like, that one was the best. And I had people, I've been working for a year sometimes.
Yeah.
Looking at homes and finally find something right.
And one thing to know as well, which is not a bad thing, is if you walk into a house, even if we have 8 to 10 showings scheduled for you, if you walk into a house and you say, this is the one, you have no obligation to view every other house. As an agent, we have an obligation to cancel the showings, but that's as far as it goes.
Yeah. Okay. Price time?
Price time.
Okay. So.
Yay for price time.
Robin wasn't here last week, so
because I was drinking bourbon.
Yeah, exactly. Good. She was doing a Tipsy Realtor research.
Yeah.
But I told you it's gonna be a cool prize, and here we are. Robin, why aren't you very passionate about this?
I love Alexa. I love Amazon. We have it all through our house. So this one we're giving away because we want you to be able to look up all of the Tipsy Realtor cocktails on this in your kitchen. Or you can even watch the Tipsy Realtor show on this in your kitchen while you make the cocktails with us. This is called an Amazon.
It can also tell you when the Tipsy Realtor starts.
Exactly. Yeah. You can set alarms with it. Yes. You can make grocery lists of what you need for the cocktails with it. You can do so much stuff. Plus, you can hook it up to all the smart devices in your house so that you can help, get yourself organized and your life going well. So this week's prize is an Alexa Amazon Show 5 for you to watch.
To win this.
It's very exciting. So like and share our show, yes, and then you will be entered to win. And you can like and share as much as you want. And every time you enter or like and share our show, your name will be entered to win.
And we are not sponsored by this company or this product. Anyhow, we're just really passionate about this product.
Amazon.
Yeah, we really like what it does and the convenience it creates for your family in your home.
So next week.
Okay, next week.
Next week we are doing the blue whale, and we're going to talk about our success stories because everybody likes hearing about the clients and the triumphs of which they got and the obstacles they overcame, just to give everyone else an idea. So we are next week going to talk without specifics, but in generalities, about stories that we've come across in real estate that people have achieved great real estate feats.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll have to make a list of fantastic stuff.
So, hang on.
And again, you can find us on all social media to follow us in terms of watching videos. Look up all the trends that we post throughout the week. Like and share to win our monthly prize for April. And we are on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook,
and we've got our first TikTok.
Yes, so we keep working on it.
We're working on it slowly.
We're just too busy selling homes.
We are, but we want to stay busy selling homes. So if you are looking at buying or selling a home and you want to have a good time and be really informed and make sure that you have the best information and the greatest time looking, give us a call on the screen. Have myself and Anna show you. But if you have friends, family, coworkers, have them call us as well. We'd love to help them out. We love taking referrals. It's a huge compliment.
Yes, thank you so much for everybody who have referred and worked with us. Again, we had a big month.
We did. We were in the top 10 again. Yeah, we were in 5th place. It was fantastic.
For March, and it was so good that so many people trust us with your real estate journey, and we would like to continue doing this. And when is a good time to sell or buy? Well, it's right now. You guys know the market is still active, still very competitive, and mortgage rates are going up. So,
and also too, is we can talk about your specific circumstance too, to say what are the pros and cons.
Start planning, because even if you're not buying tomorrow, buying in the future, you need to plan the process.
If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
There you go.
All right,
thank you for watching.